Welcome to my stories. I'm Voices and Voces. On this channel, we'll explore the power of learning languages through stories. Learning a new language is not just about words, it's about understanding cultures and perspectives. Stories make this journey more engaging and memorable. If you're ready, let's jump in. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and let's connect in the comments to make these stories even better.
The city had been awake for hours. Gran Via was full of people walking fast, hurrying to work or exploring the city. The smell of coffee came from small cafes, mixing with the warm scent of fresh bread from a nearby bakery. An old man stood on the corner, reading his newspaper while smoking a cigarette. The pages made a soft sound as he turned them. The sky was clear, blue with a few white clouds slowly moving above the city. A traffic light turned green, and people immediately started crossing the street. A cyclist rang his bell and complained as a taxi passed too close to him. The sound of car horns filled the air. At that moment, a taxi stopped by the sidewalk. The engine was still running, and the front window reflected the bright morning sun. The door opened. A man stepped out. He was wearing a black coat. In one hand, he held a bouquet of flowers wrapped in brown paper. The flowers were fresh, their scent still strong in the air. In his other hand, he carried a medium-sized suitcase, but it looked like it had been with him for a long time. His feet touched the sidewalk, and he paused for a moment. This city felt familiar, like an old friend he had not seen in years. Everything looked the same, yet different at the same time. The man took a deep breath, adjusted his grip on the suitcase, and prepared to walk. The taxi driver rolled down the window and called out, "Oye, te olvidaste el cambio." "Hey, you forgot your change." "Quédatelo, keep it." The driver raised his eyebrows. People in Spain didn't usually leave tips. He shrugged and smiled. "Bueno, tú mismo. Que tengas buen día." "Well, as you wish. Have a good day." The man gave a small nod. "Igualmente." "Same to you." The taxi drove away, and the man took another deep breath before stepping forward. As he passed by a cafe, the rich aroma of coffee filled the air. An old man sitting at a small table folded his newspaper, picked up his cup, and took a quiet sip. A waiter walked past him, carrying a steaming cup of coffee. He placed it gently on a table and smiled at the customer. "Señora, aquí tiene su café. Que aproveche." "Madame, here is your coffee. Enjoy." The man glanced at the cafe for a moment, but did not stop. He adjusted his grip on the suitcase and kept walking. The city was moving fast. People walked in different directions, some looking at their phones, others talking to friends. A street musician played the guitar near a shop. His music mixed with the sound of car horns. The man walked at a steady pace, pulling his suitcase behind him. His fingers lightly touched the paper around the flowers. The weather was just right. Nearby, a little boy was holding an ice cream, talking excitedly to his mother. He waved his hands as he spoke. Then a light touch. It was so soft, almost like the wind. Without thinking, the man reached into his pocket. His steps slowed. His eyes moved quickly, searching the crowd. Then he saw him. A man in a red jacket, walking fast, trying to disappear. At that moment, a woman screamed, "Ladrón, mi cartera." "Thief, my wallet." The sound echoed through the street. Now, the man understood. The thief had stolen from both of them. The red jacket moved fast, slipping through the people, turning left and right, looking for an escape. The man didn't stop to think. "Hey, cabrón, devuélvemelo. Hey, bastard, give it back." And then he started running. He ran through the crowd, pushing past people, moving as fast as he could. A man with a coffee almost dropped his cup. "Oye, ¿a dónde vas así?" "Hey, where are you going?" A woman quickly stepped aside, angry. "Por Dios, ten más cuidado." "Oh my God, be more careful." But the man didn't stop. He didn't hear them. His eyes were fixed on the red jacket, just a few meters ahead. Then, the thief turned into a small side street. The man's heart was pounding. He took a deep breath, held his suitcase tight, and without thinking, he followed. As soon as he entered the narrow street, the noise of the city became softer. The car horns, fast footsteps, and loud voices disappeared. Now, there was only a distant radio playing, and the echo of footsteps on old stone walls. This was one of Madrid's forgotten corners. The buildings were old, their walls covered in faded paint. Most of the windows were closed, and laundry hung motionless from iron balconies. The air smelled of damp stone and dust. The man held his suitcase tighter as he ran. The thief was just a few meters ahead, trying to open the door of an old apartment building. He pulled the handle hard, but the door didn't open. Frustrated, he reached into his pocket, looking for something. Then he turned his head and saw the man running towards him. He was trapped. At that moment, a soft rustling sound came from above. The man's instinct made him look up. A shadow, a movement, and then a sharp impact. For a second, everything blurred. A strong pain spread from the top of his head, like a wave, making the world spin. His knees became weak. There was a loud ringing in his ears. The last thing he heard was a woman's panicked voice from above. "Dios mío, ¿estás bien?" "Oh my God, are you okay?" Then, the darkness. Gabriel had been waiting for hours. The hospital chair was hard and uncomfortable. The night passed, morning came, but the man still didn't wake up. Gabriel looked at him. His face was calm, his breathing steady, but inside, Gabriel felt heavy. This was his fault. He locked his fingers together, pressing his hands against his knees. It was an accident, but that didn't make him feel any less guilty. If he hadn't gone to the balcony, if he hadn't knocked over that flower pot. He held his head in his hands. What was his name? Gabriel didn't know. He knew nothing about this man. Yet here he was, lying in this hospital bed because of him. Gabriel sighed. His eyes burned from lack of sleep. He needed to get up. He needed coffee. As he stood, his legs felt stiff. He turned back for one last look. The man was still motionless. Just a few minutes. Quietly, he stepped out. Darkness. Then slowly, a soft light. His eyelids were heavy. His mind was trapped between sleep and wakefulness. It felt like a dream that refused to let him go. He stayed like that for a while. Then, the first thing he felt was pain. A sharp ache on the left side of his head. Heavy, pulsing pain, like someone tapping inside his skull with a small hammer. He opened his eyes. A bright white ceiling, cold, sterile, unmoving. A faint smell of antiseptic filled his nose. Somewhere in the distance, people were talking in soft voices, but the words were unclear. A machine beeped in a slow, steady rhythm. His eyes moved to the side. A bag of clear liquid hung from a metal pole. A thin plastic tube connected it to his arm. White sheets covered his body. A hospital. He closed his eyes again. What happened? He took a deep breath and tried to search his mind for answers. But there was nothing. A vast, empty space. No words, no memories, no faces. He couldn't find anything. His heart didn't race. He didn't panic. But something was missing. It felt like a book with pages torn out, but the book was still in his hands. He stared at the ceiling for a long time. Then he heard the door open. The man turned his head. A middle-aged man entered. His dark hair was a little messy, and a pair of glasses rested on his forehead. He was wearing a white doctor's coat and holding a thick folder. He walked closer to the bed and stopped. He looked at him carefully. "Good morning." The man's lips moved, but no words came out. The doctor gave a small smile. "How do you feel?" The man felt the pain on the left side of his head. It was sharp and deep, like a slow pulse inside his skull. His body felt weak, but not too heavy. He could move. His mind was clear. But something was missing. Something was not right. But he didn't know what. "I'm fine, I think." His own voice sounded strange. Familiar, yet distant, like he had not spoken in a long time. The doctor nodded and opened the folder. "What's your name?" And then he realized it. He opened his mouth, but the answer did not come. He wanted to say it, but there were no words. The doctor noticed how the man's eyes were frozen on one spot. He was listening to himself. His voice was calm when he spoke. "You don't remember your name, do you?" The man's fingers moved slightly on the bed sheet. It didn't feel like a question. It felt like a fact. Yes, he didn't remember. The word hung in the air. The doctor looked down at the folder for a moment, then back at him. "This is normal. The hit on your head affected your memory. We call it temporary amnesia." The man frowned slightly. "Temporary?" The doctor nodded. "Yes. There is no serious damage to your brain. That means you can recover your memory. Sometimes it takes hours, sometimes days, sometimes weeks. But in most cases, memories come back." The man took a deep breath, but even the air he breathed didn't feel familiar. He tried to place this information somewhere in his mind, but there was no place to put it. How did he get here? Where did he come from? Did he have a home, a job, a family? Everything was so quiet, as if he was lost in an empty space. The doctor watched him closely and asked softly, "Do you only forget your name, or do you forget everything?" The man looked away. For the first time, He asked himself that question. Did he know a place? No. Did he remember a face? No. A memory? No. His throat felt dry. Nothing. The two words left a strange weight in his chest. The doctor gave him a steady look and nodded. I've seen this before. You don't need to be afraid. Gabriel walked down the hallway, gripping the coffee cup in his hand. Tired, guilty, and restless. The hospital cafeteria was small and boring. A few people waited in front of the vending machine, their arms crossed. He bought his coffee and immediately walked back. The steam rose from the cup, warming his face, but it did nothing to ease his nerves. As he reached the door, he heard voices inside. The doctor was speaking. Gabriel's heart jumped. He opened the door, and he saw him. The man was awake. He wasn't moving, but his eyes were open. Gabriel felt some relief. What if he had never woken up? The thought crossed his mind for a second, but he pushed it away. He quickly stepped inside and sat down. Hey, thank God. The man looked at him, but there was nothing in his eyes. How do you feel? Does your head hurt a lot? The man blinked. His face was empty. Then he spoke. Who are you? Gabriel felt like he had been punched in the stomach. His fingers tightened around his coffee cup. For a second, he said nothing. He studied the man's face. Was this real? The doctor cleared his throat. Gabriel turned to him. Is he joking? The doctor took a slow breath. No, he has memory loss. Gabriel frowned. What? The doctor glanced at the folder, then looked back at Gabriel. A temporary amnesia. The head injury caused it. There's no permanent damage, but right now, he doesn't remember anything, not even his name. Gabriel turned back to the man, and he realized. He truly didn't remember. Gabriel could still hear the doctor's words in his head. He has memory loss, temporary amnesia. The words floated in the hospital room. But to Gabriel, nothing about this felt temporary. The man blinked. He seemed to notice how uncomfortable Gabriel was, but he didn't understand why. Gabriel couldn't accept this. This man was looking at him, but remembered nothing. Not even the moment Gabriel found him. He had to say something. He opened his mouth, but no words came out. His throat felt dry. He never thought a mistake could have consequences this big. He could have hurt someone, yes, but erase their memories. He had never imagined that. The doctor noticed Gabriel's tension and gently touched his shoulder. Don't worry. This won't be permanent. His memory might return slowly. Gabriel nodded, but he didn't feel better. What if it never came back? The doctor wrote a few notes, then walked to the other side of the room. Gabriel held his head in his hands. The man was watching him. It felt strange. Gabriel realized the man was looking at him like a complete stranger, because to him, they were strangers. At least, he knew who he was. But this man knew nothing about him. And then something caught his attention. The man's eyes had narrowed slightly. He's watching me. Maybe he wasn't trying to remember, but he was trying to understand. Gabriel cleared his throat. Do you really not remember anything? The man blinked. He thought for a moment, then shook his head. Nothing. Gabriel sighed. A question sat heavy in his mind, but he was afraid to ask it. What if his memory never comes back? Instead, he took a deep breath and asked something simpler. Okay, what's the last thing you do remember? The man thought again, but not for long. Waking up, Gabriel frowned. Before that. The man slowly shook his head. Nothing. Just emptiness. Gabriel swallowed hard. Because of me. He needed to say something. But what could he say? The room fell silent.